Let's chat about how to handle and most importantly, get over the feeling of being rejected. I was literally about to go home for the day. It's like what? It's like 5:50. I've been here since 8 a.m. I woke up at 5:30, but I was like, I need to make a video on this because today I had a lot of patient calls and this feeling of being rejected, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been feeling that feeling a little bit today too. So this video is just as much for me as it is for you. So we love it when we get that, hit that bird with two stones or something like that, whatever that saying is. So today I have 5 points that I want to share with you that are really going to help you get over this feeling of being rejected, because if we allow ourselves to get down every single time we feel rejected, we give ourselves permission to let our value and worth be affected by it, it's going to significantly affect our quality of life. And when you feel constantly bogged down by this feeling of rejection, you're never going to go out there, try anything new. You're constantly going to be in a state of fear, and you're going to be in a place of just low self-worth, self-esteem, and truthfully, you're never going to be able to build the life of your dreams. So you need to truly get comfortable and confident handling this feeling of rejection, because it is a feeling at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's a feeling. And if you choose to let this feeling define you, define your life, you will never build a big, bold, beautiful life. You will constantly play it small in life. And then you'll end up on your deathbed, look back and be like, wow, like I wish I did but I didn't, because I was so afraid of being rejected. And that is what I want to prevent. So with that being said, let's get started. Also, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dr. Baslane. I am a naturopathic doctor, and I teach high achievers how to optimize their brain and body so they can get to their next level of success. Because there's no point in getting to the next level of success if you're already burnt out, tired, exhausted, living in fear. The next level, how are you going to get to the next level? How are you going to even hold the capacity for that next level of success if you're already fully stretched, exhausted, and tired where you're at? So this isn't just about working harder, it's about working healthier so that you can actually sustain the next level of success, so you can actually enjoy your success, because I find a lot of us are missing that. All right, before I go into a whole other tangent here, so number one, I have all my handy dandy little tips written here. So number one, in terms of handling rejection, is that you need to stop taking it so personally. You need to stop letting rejection be a definition of your worth and value. And this is probably the hardest thing, and a lot of us struggle with it because and I don't blame you, right? I don't blame you for taking rejection personally, because say for example, you're applying to jobs, right? You worked hard on your resume, you're prepping for the interviews, you're applying to these jobs, you're spending so much time into it, and then you get rejected. It brings you down. It makes you feel like all the hard work you're doing isn't paying off. And then you start to question yourself. You start to question the worth. You start to question the work that you're doing. And is it even worth it? Are you even worth it? And and then your head just spirals, and before you know it, you're just feeling shitty about yourself in your life. And the number one thing that you need to focus on, so how do you not take rejection personally? Obviously, that is so much easier said than done. So how do you actually not take it personally? The way that you not take rejection personally is that you need to stop basing your value and worth based on everything that's happening outside of you. And that's the problem that you struggle with, is that your value and worth is like here. This is, you literally walk around with your value and worth right here in your hands, and you give it to whoever, whatever situation comes up, it's just right there. You just give it to all of that. And that is your first problem, is you need to stop just like having your worth and value out on a silver platter to everything around you. You need to bring it back home, my friend. You need to bring it back home to yourself, because only you should be in charge of your value and worth, not the people around you, not the things around you. And this is how you stop taking rejection so personally. Because if your value and worth, your self-esteem, your confidence is not based off of everything that's happening around you, then it doesn't matter what happens around you, because you still feel valuable. You still feel worthy. And a really quick, simple tip. So an example of this, how do you take this back? So say, for example, you are applying to job interviews. A lot of us, what happens is that we place our value and worth on our ability to get the job, which in a way makes sense, right? Like that's the success outcome. But here's the thing, you can't fully control that. You can't fully control who is going to say yes to you getting the job. But here is what you can control. You can control, sorry, I think someone here in my office space sounds like a child, so has a child patient or something like that. So if you hear screaming, it's because of that. So ignore that. I totally lost my train of thought. Actually, going back to it. So basically, yeah, so you are placing your essentially success outcome on your ability to get a job, which makes sense, but you can't control that. What do you have control over? You have control over the number of people you reach out to. You have control over how good your resume looks. You have control over all of these other aspects. So when you start basing your value off of things you have control over, when you get rejected, it doesn't take away from that. Because your full-on success outcome wasn't just getting the job, it was also based off of your resume and the work that you put into it. It was based off of the number of job and companies that you reached out to. So if one part of it is like not working out, that's okay, because you have all of these other parts to look at and to determine your value, your worth, your confidence, your self-esteem on. So do you see the power in that? So you need to make sure that you're measuring your success based on the things you have control over, not the things that you don't have control over. And when you start doing that, you bring your value and worth back home instead of letting everybody else around you determine it. And that is how you not take rejection personally. Number 2, rejection is redirection. Rejection is redirection. Rejection is redirection. When I started to embody this in my own life, just changed freaking everything for me. And this is where, I really want to start talking more about my relationship with God and faith and all that stuff more on this channel, because I feel like I really don't, but it's such a big part of my life. And when I really started working on my relationship with God and really trusting that God, and if you don't believe in God, that's cool. You're allowed to have your own beliefs and faiths, but I really highly encourage you to believe in something bigger than yourself. And I think that piece is important, whether it's the universe or spirit or whatever you want to call it. I think that is truly important for your mental health and well-being. So when I really started to believe that God always has my best interest in heart and that rejection is redirection, man, life just became so beautiful for me, because every time I would get rejected, I'd be like, thank you. Like, literally, thank you. That means something even better is about to come in my way. And that is a beautiful frame of reference that you can take. So I remember this was last year, when I was moving to downtown Toronto, I was looking for an apartment. I found, at first I was like, okay, let me try to see if I can find someone with a roommate. Obviously, like living in downtown Toronto is expensive. It's a lot. I'm also an entrepreneur, business owner. So whatever I make, I love to pour it into my business first, because we're all about that business growth. And so initially I found this like really beautiful house. If you know Toronto, it's the Trinity Bellwoods area. I freaking love that area. Now I live a little bit, like 25-minute walk away from it. So not exactly in the area, but around it. And I found this really nice house. It was a roommate. She was going to be a young professional woman around my age. So I was like, great, this works out perfectly. And I talked to the landlord. And not because I'm a business owner, I don't have that consistent income coming in, right? I have more than enough of the income to support the rent of the house and whatnot, but I didn't have that consistent income coming in. So the landlord looks at my bank statements, and at that time too, my bank accounts were just like set up in like a funny way, and it was just not looking good on my part. Let's just say that. So the landlord looks at my bank statements, and she's just like, I don't think she can afford this rent. And get this. This was actually wild. She literally asked the other girl and was like, if Bisleen can't pay her rent, can you just pay the rent in full? And I was like, first of all, how freaking embarrassing on my end. Like, here I am busting my booty off, so excited to start this new chapter in the beginning, because I'm in this place where my business is flourishing, I'm doing well, and I can move downtown. And I just felt this like such a big insult. And I was just like, when I heard that, I was like, screw this spot. This is like, the landlord's being difficult. I'm just not getting a good feeling with it. As much as I wanted the spot, I thought it was perfect. I was just like, screw this. And this rejection, I was like, this is a redirection. And now I live in a, beautiful apartment in downtown. It's maybe not the biggest apartment, but it's all mine. I live there by myself, and it was the most beautiful redirection that I could have had, and I'm so happy and at peace here. And every time I open my door, my heart just like lights on fire, and I love that space, and it's my space. And that was just such a perfect example for me, and hope this serves as an example for you of the fact that a rejection truly is redirection, but only if you see it like that. And that's what I want you to start telling yourself. When things don't go your way, that's okay, because something even better, my friend, is coming your way. And that's how I want you to start seeing your life. And when you start seeing rejection as that, rejection doesn't matter. In fact, it's like, let's get rejected so we can get the next better thing instead, right? Like, let's bring it on and start seeing it as that. Number 3, you need to see rejection as a reason and way to get better. And that's how I need you to start seeing it. Use that rejection or that failure as feedback. That's what I always say. The failure is feedback. The rejection is feedback. So when you get rejected from that job or that relationship or whatever it is, use it as feedback and look at, okay, what can I learn from this and how can I get better? How can I get better and how can I improve from this? Because if you continue to show up, continue to improve and get better, eventually you will get the thing. You always will. Your success is inevitable if you continue to improve and get better. Seriously, that's simple as that. The people who are the most successful, the only thing that differentiates them and the people who weren't is that they just never gave up. They just never gave up. That's it. They saw failure, they saw rejection, they felt all of that, but they chose to move through it. So you start asking yourself, when you get rejected, how can you improve? How can you get better? When I do a sales call in my business, right? So I don't do a sales call, sorry. It's called a discovery call, called a breakthrough session. But essentially in a form, it is in a way, it is almost a sales call, right? People say no to me all the time, and they tell me that my prices are too expensive, and in a way they are. I do charge I am a bit more of an expensive naturopath, but that's because I bring so much value to my clients. I do all the mindset work, I do all the work that the naturopaths do, and I have so much other value that I bring in when it comes to supporting people with their mind and their body. And because I bring that value in, I know my prices can line up with that. But that doesn't mean that everybody is still gonna want to invest that much money into their health and then work with me. And that's cool. That's cool. That's a part of the process. And every time, I have a call with someone, I use that call as a way to get better. Look at how could I have portrayed the value better so they could really see the importance of investing in their health. Because truly, I'm doing this because I'm so passionate about people getting better. Like, I struggled with chronic depression for years, and I know what it's like to be in a place where your mind and body just feel broken, and how you so desperately want to do big things in the world, but your mind and body can support you and help you to get there. I know what those feelings are like, and to live in that fear, that pain every single day. And that's why I do this. So every time, I get someone who's just like, oh, it's too expensive, I don't want to work with it. It hurts me a little bit because I'm just like, oh, I could help you and I want to help you. But I also have to make sure I'm maintaining my integrity in terms of my pricing and the value that I add. So use rejection to get better, and it literally asks for feedback too. If things don't end up working out, like I remember when I used to apply to jobs when I was a teen, I would literally be like, okay, what can I improve? How can I get better? What would you have wanted to look for instead? Okay. Number 4, read stories of people that are empowering. Read stories. This was like one of my favorite things to do, just to listen and read stories of people. Sorry, I promise I didn't just toot on screen. That was like my chair. Promise I didn't do a little toot, okay? That's funny. It literally sounded like I farted. Okay, let's get back into this. That's funny. What you want to do is you really want to read inspirational stories, watch inspirational stories. To this day, one of my absolute favorite Netflix not documentaries, like a series, it was a reenacted series, is of Madame C.J. Walker. She was America's first self-made millionaire in the early 1900s, and she was a African-American woman. Isn't that incredible? The first self-made millionaire in America in the early 1900s was a woman, and she was an African-American. And I just think that's so, especially being as a woman of color, I think that's such an empowering, please go watch it. Whether you're a man, woman, whoever you are, go watch the series. So inspirational. And when I see people who have overcome so much hardship to be where they're at, think about some of the biggest people that you look up to, like Elon Musk or, founder of Amazon, just whoever, look these people up, read their stories, because you'll really see that it wasn't just them getting lucky or waking up and just, having everything handed to them. They went through so much freaking adversity. And when we can really see the adversity that people went through and see how they came out on the other side, man, it's just so freaking inspirational. So do that. Read these inspirational stories. I think, for example, J.K. Rowling, she got rejected by 13 publishing companies. Or maybe it's a little bit more than that. And imagine if she just stopped after like the fourth or fifth Harry Potter would have never come into existence. Like there's so many stories out there like this, so read them. And then the last tip I want to give to you is you need to redefine rejection in your mind. The reason that rejection has such a powerful hold on you is because of the definition that you're giving it, right? So the definition you could be giving rejection is that it means I'm not valuable, I'm not worthy, I suck, I'm horrible, I'm never going to be successful. If you give rejection those meanings, it's going to have that effect and impact on you. Instead, what if rejection meant I just need to get better, I need to learn a new skill, I need to improve? Rejection is feedback. That hurts you so much less versus if you tell yourself, I suck because I got rejected, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself in your head. So you need to redefine rejection in your mind, and it will stop having that powerful hold over you. Literally spend even just a minute after this video and be like, what do I want rejection to mean? And the next time you feel rejected and you experience that same hurt and pain, remind yourself, actually, this doesn't mean I'm not valuable or I'm not worthy. It just means I need to get better. This is just feedback for me to improve and get better. That's all it needs to mean in your mind. And this is it. This is how you handle rejection as I achiever. And the big thing here that I really want to emphasize is that if you're not comfortable with rejection, get comfortable with it. Seriously, if you want to achieve anything big in life, and if you're not comfortable with rejection, you're not going to be able to succeed at anything. So you need to get comfortable with it. You need to redefine your relationship with it and start seeing rejection differently if you really want to achieve big goals and dreams in your life. Because if you don't, you're not going to be successful.